Tokyo. Arigato.
Arigato gozaimasu.
Arigato gozaimasu.
Arigato gozaimasu.
Arigato gozaimasu.
I'm Thomas.
I'm Tim, and we're traveling around the world from city to city.
For each city we visit, we make contact with a local, a complete stranger to us, but someone who loves their city and wants to share that with us.
We're on a mission to find out what cities mean to the people who live in them.
It's a show about
People,
cities,
traveling,
culture,
food,
day life,
music,
nightlife,
and everything in between.
This is my city.
City, that's where we belong.
We're going to Tokyo!
We arrived in Tokyo from Osaka, and we arrived on a bullet train. It's very quiet and very fast, and we kind of slid into the urban jungle that is Tokyo.
We're in Tokyo.
We were staying in Shimbashi, which was kind of a business center with a lot of sky rises and subways and train stations. Tokyo is massive. It's just like you're in the middle of an urban eternity. It's a really, really layered city. There's like underground, shopping mall, street, monorail, office tower. It's really vertical, the city.
So we're in Tokyo. It's actually been a life goal of mine to come to the city, so I'm really excited.
This episode's going to be a little bit different because instead of having just one local host, we actually have 3 different people that are going to show us around. We're going to meet up with Tomo, who's going to be our food expert. Then we'll meet Masa, who's going to show us around on Saturday. And then his friend Takeki is going to show us around on Sunday.
You could stop at Tokyo's crazy and weird and everything you see is going to be insane. But I'm more interested in Japanese people, and are they really different or are they similar to the rest of us? And how do you live in a city this nuts and this futuristic and this packed with people? What's life like here for people who call it home?
Food's gonna be great, the sake's gonna be great, the people are gonna be great, the weekend's gonna be great.
It's 5:45 a.m. What are we about to do?
Go to the fish market.
With who?
The master.
Sushi chef.
Yes, master sushi chef.
On Friday morning, we met up with Tomo, who was going to give us a bit of an insight into Tokyo's food culture. We met Tomo at the Tsukiji Fish Market for an early breakfast.
What are we having for breakfast?
What's that?
What are we
It's
having?
ramen.
For breakfast?
Breakfast. Noodles. Soup noodles. It's pretty good.
It was amazing ramen and lovely warming because it was kind of a cold morning and we'd gotten up early and we were tired. And this is one of the places Tomo liked to eat at. How was it?
Oh, dude, you gotta eat this.
So good.
He actually used to be a chef and he used to come to the market every day. And this was one of his little morning hunts.
So Tomo had arranged for us to meet his friend, Mr. Kuji Matsushita, also known as the Master Sushi Chef. The plan was to follow him around Tsukiji as he shopped for fish for his restaurant.
It's definitely a touristy thing to do. Everyone says you gotta go visit, and I say, yes, you do have to go visit. It's amazing. It's 8 football fields big.
You've never seen as much fish as that in your whole life in one place and as many crazy sea creatures. There's like sea cucumbers and lobsters and crabs and mackerel hearts. Everything that you could imagine harvesting from the sea is in this one massive market.
I love how this guy is conducting business, like having conversation, and also killing fish.
Just like grabbing a live fish, killing it instantly, cutting its head off, and then putting like a wire down its spinal cord.
The master went from one specific seller to the next. He'd been, shopping there for years and he'd obviously found the best places. He bought what he wanted to serve that night in his restaurant. It just shows you like how different it is to serve fish in a city like Tokyo, where you have a market like that which is replenished every day. So much care and respect, I think, given to the fish, and it's all packed and handled really well, and I think that's part of the Japanese character. They're so concerned with aesthetic and presentation and how everything looks. If you treat things with respect and you handle things with care and then you present things beautifully, like of course it's going to taste great. Of course it's going to taste great. Tomo had to go to work then, so we parted ways, but we made plans to meet up with him later that evening for dinner.
6:45. We're late. It's really easy to get around. It just takes a while.
So eventually we caught up with Tomo and his friend Adrian in Shibuya, and they were taking us to have dinner at the Master's restaurant.
We got there and it was in this kind of little quieter suburban neighborhood. It was probably like half an hour train ride away. And his restaurant was called Mikawa Sushi. We were there with Adrian, Tomo, myself, yourself, and the master.
Master, konnichiwa.
Basically, the master was just going to feed us whatever was fresh. He was going to serve to us several courses, sashimi, sushi, and then various kind of like specialities. We had like probably like 10 courses or more. We started off with like a cod roe. There was oysters in batter. There was Spanish mackerel. There was tuna. He killed whole fishes for us.
Thomas, you got room for that egg?
Absolutely, yeah.
But we just feasted. I mean, we just hung out there and feasted.
It's pretty fantastic.
The sake was flowing.
Kamitaka, God, Hoke. It's dry and smooth.
It was an amazing dinner, absolutely amazing. After sushi, we went to a very local bar in that area called Apple.
He used to have a restaurant and coffee shop, but now he turned to the karaoke store.
It was this hole-in-the-wall karaoke place, a little old school 70s style. There was a few people in there, and we showed up, and Thomas started with the karaoke right away.
What are you gonna sing here, Thomas?
I promised the world I would sing Lisa Stanfield's "Been Around the World" and because I have been around the world and I can't find my baby.
I guess this was like an old karaoke system, but it was still the most advanced karaoke system I'd ever seen in my life.
They really take karaoke seriously. I just remember the mic quality being so good, you could really hear yourself. And you're like, I'm singing this out of tune.
We were drinking the night away, singing karaoke, not a care in the world, just having a great time.
Good night. All right, give me the mic.
Feeling good. Sake has gone down well. It's been sort of a quintessential Japanese evening. Our host for Saturday was Masa. He works in the music business and he was going to take us gaming and bring us to see some live music.
We met Masa and his friend Yoichiro at the Meiji Jinju Shrine.
It's in this mystical forest with these big arches. It's kind of his place where he goes to be alone and escape everything.
The sake was meant to be a gift for God.
People go there to offer food and vegetables, and they have these crazy vegetable shrines. One for prosperity, and one for family, and one for travel.
By the time you're really deep into it, you can't see the buildings around you, you just see the trees, and it's much more calm, and you forget that you're in the middle of like urban madness. It was nice, we went, we made a wish. So you throw in 5 yen, you clap your hands and make a wish.
Just try to swipe away all the bad things you have.
There's too many bad things. They have these really traditional weddings there. There was actually several weddings going on. And it's funny because all these tourists are taking pictures of this person's wedding and they like parade through the center of this square. And everybody watches them. I thought it was a really beautiful place and I would definitely recommend going to it.
Meiji Jinju dumped us right out into the middle of Harajuku.
Harajuku is one of the busiest shopping areas, which has this amazing street, which is just people, solid people. It kind of represents how mad and crazy and busy Japan is.
I'll race you.
From there, Masa took us to Ikebukuro.
1, 2, 3, go!
So now we are in Ikebukuro, which is one of the biggest cities in Tokyo.
We had some time to kill before a show. So we just wandered around, kind of like from arcade to arcade.
Every now and again you walk past a building and it's just like millions of Japanese men in business suits like on this crazy looking arcade game.
How about drinking the streets, man? Ganpai!
It was just kind of a fun way to kill time. It's like, oh, we got 2 hours to kill. What do you want to do? Let's walk around, drink beers, and hang out in arcades.
There's batting cages on the roof of this building. That's what we're doing.
It's not batting cages, clearly. It's a blue tennis court.
This isn't batting cages? There's a nail salon here if you need to get your nails done.
We walked to another arcade on the other side of town that did have batting cages on the roof, and we did some slugging.
Looking forward to a bit of sport.
Pull hit.
And it was really bad for me. I had a rough go at it.
Masa was way better than us.
That's when I started to really, really fall in love with Tokyo. I was like, well, you can really do anything here. You could be a big kid, and it's great. Oh, from there we went to the ice bar, didn't we?
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
One of the things we did on Friday night was we went to the Tokyo Ice Bar, which is a bar completely made of ice. And you have to wear a giant fur coat in there because it's so cold. And I was just like, the barman here must be freezing and miserable. What a shitty job.
Eventually, we made our way over to Ginza to check out a show by his friend Takeki.
We are going to the bar, music bar called Boogie Oogie. There's a talented Japanese musician called Takeki, so we're gonna see him singing traditional J-pop style.
Great.
Which is called Showa style.
It was kind of a J-pop bar with all these giant posters of J-pop stars on the walls. Had a nice like atmosphere with a big kind of stage area. Takeki played a variety of J-pop with a pianist, double bass player, and a drummer. He was very much a performer, but he entertained the whole crowd. We didn't understand anything that was going on, but we were also entertained, I think, by his music.
After the show, we had some drinks with Takeki and some of his friends in the back room. And it was good just to get to know him a little bit better, considering we were spending the entire next day with him.
Then we listened to this other guy perform. We had more sake. This guy put on a nice little show. You know, even though you don't know what he's singing about, it was still really nice.
Sun's shining.
Yeah, man.
We are going to meet Takeki and spend the day with the man.
Takeki was Tokyo host number 3. He's a classical composer and J-pop musician. And the only thing he told us about the day was to meet him in Asakusa.
We kind of went on this little walking tour where he brought us to these old movie theaters.
Sometimes I go to the theater because, you know, they have very rare old Japanese films.
And there's another theater right next to that was like a gay pickup spot for really old dudes.
This is for like old gay cruising spot.
I mean, that's just something I never heard of, man. Like a gay hangout for 80-plus-year-olds. Like. Then after that, we walked by this really tiny amusement park.
The amusement park was called Hanayashiki, and it's this tiny, tiny little hilarious amusement park with a roller coaster that takes about 15 seconds to complete.
Hey, we got it!
Poor Thomas couldn't get on because he was too tall.
Discrimination.
And so he had to get off and went on this other like weird thing that lifts you up really quick and then slowly drops you.
That was spectacularly unspectacular.
They made so much use out of the space that they had there. You'd look up and you'd see like one little cart going by and then like a trolley above that, you know, and then like a little train below that.
It's also like beautifully tacky and old-fashioned and from a different age. Just a cool little diversion.
So then we ended up meeting up with Takeki's friends we'd met the night previous. Takeki also took us to what he said was his favorite spot in that neighborhood. We walked into like a huge shopping mall. It was like shopping on all floors.
So we are in a department store and we're gonna go to the rooftop.
It's the elevator lady.
And he took us to the top of it, and it's like this forgotten space. It has some amusements, it has an arcade, and like a pirate ship, and these really old school battery operated cars that kids can sit on and drive around, which we did. He said it was one of his favorite places to go and just hang out and be alone, because it's like a mad busy department store with tons of people shopping on every level. And at the very top of it, there's this little empty, lonely place.
I think that's very special for me because some buildings are very new, but other buildings are very old, and everything is mixed up, and old culture still survive here, and new culture was born here, so I really like it.
I really enjoyed the rooftop. It's like the lonely little hidden place in the middle of the least lonely place in the world.
From there, we went over to Kichi Joju to the Pine Star Cafe to see a show by Murasaki Baby Doll.
Murasaki Baby Doll is a group of girls who dress in these really bright candy-colored outfits, and they all have different colored hair.
These girls had so many different dance numbers and routines, and they nailed them all. And it looked like a really complicated, in-depth show that they put together. That was very entertaining. So then from there, Takeki took us to Golden Street. And I think that's one of the main places that he likes to hang out or spend his evenings.
This is the Golden Street. I think this is the most fascinating area in Tokyo.
The most remarkable thing about it is it's like a 2-block area with these tiny little alleyways, and there's like 200 bars there, and they're all like the size of a tiny little kitchen or something.
The very soiree. The owner is a very great singer.
And we walked in the soiree, and there were 5 people in there. It was completely full.
We climbed over everybody and went upstairs into this tiny little room.
It was definitely a place not made for tall people.
How's it going? We're in the smallest bar in the world. But it's got an upstairs. Wow, what a piano, dude. We had some drinks up there, and Takeki started playing the piano a little bit, which was amazing. He's also really good at improvising just in general.
If you give me some kind of theme.
Some theme?
Yeah.
How about This Is My City?
This is my city?
The piano was a little bit f***ed up, but it was just kind of added to the bizarreness of the situation. I felt like we were in another little hidden secret place in the middle of Tokyo. Tiny little like room up a ladder in a pub that no one knows about.
I feel like Tokyo is a very warm city and very kind for me. So I feel like very sometimes kind of like dangerous and sometimes very cool. Like this. I didn't know this.
That was amazing.
No way.
Thank you.
We still hadn't eaten, which was catching up with us. We were like, yeah, we should really get some food. And Takeki doesn't eat. I think he had like a bean that day, maybe. He was like, all right, well, we'll go to this other pub, which I know the owner at, and we'll order food there.
I used to work in the bar.
In this bar?
Right.
What's it called?
Yakan Hiko. Yakan Hiko means night flight.
Night flight.
Right.
Night Flight was really cool. It was just one long, narrow bar. We could probably fit about 6 or 7 people. We met the owner, and it was funny because the owner was this guy, really skinny Japanese guy with like some scruff and like a big hat on. And I remember I went to the bathroom and I came back, and you're like, Tim, you see that poster? And it was a poster of this woman. And he's like, yeah, that's him. That's the bartender. I was like, what?
The bar owner there was also a drag queen.
We asked him to put on his DVD, and he put on a DVD of him singing. We gotta say she. The guy, he's gonna look like a dude. He looks like a dude, he is a dude, but he's a woman. The dude's a woman, right?
It was a really like intimate little place, and I feel like these bars on Golden Street are really nice because they're so intimate. Everyone who comes in, you end up chatting to because it's so small. So you can absolutely go alone because you're gonna end up talking to everybody anyway. We finally got our food after waiting for about an hour.
Masa came by to bid us farewell, and it was just a nice way to spend our last night in Tokyo.
So that kind of wrapped it up, didn't it?
That was it.
That was pretty much it.
We both got a much needed haircut, and then we went to the Mori Tower in Roppongi Hills to get a last look at Tokyo.
Tokyo. She's been good to us, although I feel like we barely scratched the surface.
Well, yeah, look at it.
Because the surface is endless. But she's been good to us nonetheless, and we'll miss her.
It'd be great to spend like a couple months just exploring that place. There's just so much to it, and it all seems fantastic.
That's what I was left with, the sensation of wanting more and like not wanting to leave. We got a really good, short, intense experience. It was something different, something unique, something a little bit soulful.
You know, I think having 3 different hosts is actually a great way to experience more of the city. Tomo and Masa showed us some of the things that are unique to Tokyo, like the food and the video games and the karaoke. And with Takeki, we dug a little bit deeper and got a more personal version of this city.
Tokyo on the surface is all bustle and craziness and busyness. And inside all that craziness, he kept bringing us to these little sanctuaries, which is really nice.
I fell in love with Tokyo and Japan itself because of the deep-rooted tradition. Everything has a value, and everything and everyone should be respected, and it just makes for a happy environment. It's hard to ever get in a bad mood there, really. My only advice is go to Japan. Every human being in their lifetime should go to Japan. Seriously.
Yeah, I love Japan. It's hard not to love Japan.